It's Katherine. Oh, I don't have the best setup in here. I don't have good lighting. I look like I haven't slept. I'm in a Motel 6. I've got the phone propped up on a couple of cases of oranges on top of a chair, on top of my bed, facing the window because that's really the only light. Okay, so that's current situation. Hey Mona, good morning. It's Sunday morning as usual. Hey Lorian, how are you? Happy New Year to everyone. That's right, Mona. Happy New Year. We've got Anadit, Elena's here, Sreen. Oh, I usually say Sri, but Sreen Ketan. I just gonna try to pronounce the whole thing, cause why not? Vias is here, Nadine is here. Good morning. I apologize for the lighting. I'm not in my normal space. Is that any better? That's really normal. Not really. Yes, you can tell from the orange walls I'm in a Motel 6. Hey Danny, hey Derek. Good morning. I keep moving thinking that will make the light a little better. I don't know. It's kind of better here. Kind of better. I don't know. It's kind of better. First say Sri, then Ni, then Kitan. Sri Ni Kitan. Sri Ni Kitan. Sri Ni Kitan. I don't know if that was right, but you know, it took me a long time to say Vias. He's on here. And I think I butchered his name lots of times before I got it right. I don't know if I even get it right. He had to phonetically spell it out for me too. Srini Kitan. Kinda. It's kinda right. Sri. Well, Sri. We'll just stick with that because, you know. I mean, hey Santa. He's laughing out loud. These like people think, oh, these dumb Americans, man, they just can't get it right. No, Lily, I can't even read that, let alone say it. It just looks like scribbles. I'm sorry. It doesn't look like scribbles. Actually, it looks like beautiful art. Okay, so how was your New Year's? What are we celebrating? Hey Lizzie, hey Orly's here. Space Uniquely's here. Did you guys do anything on New Year's? Oh my gosh, Timmy and I were trying to leave the party at 10. And everyone's like, no, stay till the New Year's ball dropped. And I was like, it dropped an hour ago in New York. I want to go to bed. But everyone wanted us to stay. Hey, Ellie. Hey, Riku. And so Timmy, he fell asleep on the couch at the party at like 10:15 or 10:30. And I was having some good conversations with people. Hey, Eli. Hey, GR. So I was like, oh, I will try. But by 11:15, I was like, I can't. So my friend, she put down like a air mattress for me. Hey, is it Ibeck? And I took a little nap, but I woke up. I took a little like 20-minute nap. People, you know, it was at a party. You can't really get good sleep. But I woke up like at 5 minutes to, so we could do the woo toast. Hey Molly. So I don't know. I don't know if they had champagne. I don't know what they had. I didn't even have sparkling cider. I just sat there like a curmudgeon. Woo, while they're all blowing their woo. I just was like, guys, I gotta go home and sleep. So I feel like last night I had to catch up. On sleep. And so I feel kind of wrecked today. I probably look like I'm so tired. And I'm sleeping in a foreign place. This is Motel 6. You can see all my junk in the background. No clothes hanging up. So yeah, I am here for a couple days to do some writing on my advanced course, level 2, of the You Are Worthy course. And there's a few of you on here that are going through level 1. Okay, so Abik says, rate the new Dhar Mann video 1 to 10. Which video was that? Remind me which video that was. Was that the one with, hey Martin, it wasn't, was that the one with the party? They had a party and that somebody threw up on the carpet? Yeah, Brittany, I saw you posting about the club that you weren't at. That was kind of funny. How many of you think Brittany should be like a comedian? That would be funny. It's nice. When the New York ball drops, they do it in Times Square, Orly says. Okay, we've got Shanti on here saying, Hola, Katherine, ¿cómo estás? No pudimos hacer celebraciones de Año Nuevo en España. So she mentions the word COVID. So I think what she's saying here is, hi, how are you? There was no celebrations of New Year's in Spain because of COVID. Am I even close? I took 1 year of Spanish in high school. And yeah. I just came from Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh, how was it? How was the new Spider-Man? A big guy uses plus-size girl for money. Oh, I did see that one. I didn't know that was the latest one. I think that kind of stuff happens all the time, I'm sad to say. He definitely used real life examples. Rate it from 1 to 10. So it depends on what I'm rating it on. What am I rating it on? The storyline? Am I rating it on the actors? Am I rating it on the writing? I don't know. Yes, Katherine, that was perfect. Okay, hopefully. Happy New Year, Jarrell. Good to have you on here. Shanti said, absolutamente correcta. Absolutely correct is what I believe she's saying. Now, is that absolutamente? Is that Spanish? It's similar to Italian, isn't it? Okay. Elas is soak. I don't know what that means. Okay, so Martin says, can you explain what happened at Dhar Mann Studios with COVID? Did an actor get sick? What happened? Will they make all actors get tested or vaccinated now? I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. It wouldn't be the first time somebody got COVID, but nobody told me anything. I didn't hear about anything. Nobody sent an email. They didn't even send an email to all the actors letting us know they're like closing down for January. Oh no, somebody's trying to send me what might be a message in, was that German? I don't even know. My husband took German in high school, but Abik, is that German or am I crazy? And I don't know. So I don't know what happened at the studio. I don't even know if it happened at the studio or if it happened somewhere else. And just to be safe. So nobody told me anything. There was only one time in the last 2 years. Suri knows 2 languages. Yes, it's German. Yay! I only know one phrase in German, I think. Is Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Is that right? Does that mean, do you speak German? Oh, yeah. So, no, I don't know what happened. Nobody emailed me. Vias, I think, was the first one to let me know that they weren't putting any films out in January. And I was like, what? What is he talking about? Nobody told me anything. So I had to go to the Dhar Mann YouTube page to see. Then I saw the announcement. Mona, I don't speak Swedish, although my dad is Swedish. Well, he's at least half Swedish. But I've had to learn Swedish accents for movies that I've been in. Well, movies I've auditioned for. Let me just say that. Abik was born in Italy. His parents are Nigerian. At 8 years old, I moved to Germany. I can now speak 4 languages. Wow, you are very valuable in the work field. I bet people are just clamoring to hire you because of those skills. So no, I don't know what happened. So you guys know that I normally, Red Bull asks where I'm from. I'm from Minnesota in the USA, and now I live in California, also in the USA. My dad is mostly Swedish. My mom claims to be 100% Norwegian. And my dad is also, which means I am also, Irish, English, and Danish. And maybe even a little Finnish, possibly. Hey, Ray. So you guys know, those of you who've been on here before know I like to do a little bit of teaching or discussing on a topic before I get into the Q&A questions. So I'm going to hit the pause button on the Q&A questions for now. And just do a little bit of teaching and asking you guys. So the topic today was, what if you're right? Eli, I've already said your name. What if you're right? What could I possibly be talking about? What if you're right? Okay, every single one of you has had people say things to you that you have taken to heart, that you have taken in, that you have let stop you. Derek, I'm going to get to your question. Thank you for the gift. I'll get to your question after I do this teaching. And remind me if I forget. Okay. Actually, Derek, you're a perfect example of what I'm about to talk about based on your question and what you sent me earlier. Okay. It's okay to be right. What if you're right? Okay. I'm just going to read a little story and then we'll discuss it. Okay. All right. He's teaching us some Hebrew this morning. It's okay to be right. One of the great weapons used by manipulators is the knowledge that if they sound right, then those who are suffering from guilt or, hey, current jam, or sometimes in our situation, low self-esteem or worthiness issues, if someone who's a manipulator sounds right, we who suffer from guilt, low self-esteem, worthiness, we will think they are right. And this author, this is the book No More Mr. Nice Guy by Stephen Brown. He was saying, he was speaking at a college, and one of the students came up to him very upset. Hey, Danny, asking if they could speak to him. And it sounded urgent. And he says, Mr. Brown, I need you to help me get my life straight. And so, of course, you know, this guy's like a pastor, and he's thinking, oh, this kid's, he's all upset. He's probably going to admit some big, deep, dark, secret sin that nobody knows about. He's all a mess. So they sat down at the coffee table, and this guy was like in tears about how his life is so messed up and how he needs to get it on track. And so he said, Mr. Brown, I have to deal with my arrogance and my pride. And Mr. Brown looks at him like, what is he talking about? Because this kid is broken. His head is hanging down. He's all upset. His eyes are welling up with tears. And he's talking about how he has all this arrogance and pride. So Mr. Brown asks him, he said, how do you know that you are arrogant and prideful? And so the college kid goes on to tell him, well, a small group of Christians with whom I meet with regularly in the small group, one of their tenets is total honesty. We're all totally honest with each other. And the week before, the group decided to be totally honest with me. The whole meeting had been devoted to what was wrong with him. And it all boiled down to his arrogant, prideful attitude. And Mr. Brown said, "Have you ever considered that they were wrong about you?" From the look on his face, it was clear he hadn't considered it. He said, "I suspect that given the fact that you're human, there must be some elements of pride in your life, but from the short time I've gotten to know you, this 2-hour conversation, it's not your glaring sin. It's not the big thing you have going in your life." Anyway, they talked for 2 hours, but this college kid assumed he was just arrogant, prideful person sinning against God because this group of people told him he was. And isn't it interesting how people in your life, even if they share your same faith, they think they know everything about you. They think they can diagnose you with what's wrong with you. I don't know if any of you guys know R.C. Sproul, but he was a great writer. He was told by a teacher that he couldn't write. And that teacher almost robbed us of some great books because for a long time, R.C. believed her. It's the same with us. Time after time, we fail because we believe the turkeys that tell us we're dumb. Maybe you've been told you're dumb. Did you ever think that those people could be wrong? Perhaps you're afraid to articulate your ideas because you've been told your ideas aren't worth much. But have you considered, did you ever think that the idea that your ideas aren't worth much isn't worth much? You know, perhaps you don't need to go around apologizing all the time. Have you ever considered that you don't need to apologize if you're right? Have you ever entertained the idea, guys, that you were right? Have you ever stopped to go, what if these people that tell me my art is no good, that my singing is no good, that my basketball skills are no good, what if they're wrong? Why are we always assuming the guilt on ourselves? Why are we always, oh my gosh, I did this myself. Early on when I was in Hollywood, I was working on a TV pilot, and I was working with this writer who he would use these big words all the time, and I was like, I didn't know what he was talking about. And this is before like there was apps, so I didn't even have like the dictionary app on my phone to go look up these words. And I would always ask him, I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, you don't need to use, I would tell him, you don't need to use big words. There's a saying that says people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And he would just get so frustrated with me. He finally said, I can't write with you. You can't even form a sentence. So when God started speaking to me about writing these books, which as you know, I've written 3 of, that would replay in my head. This is this smart guy. He's got like degrees and he knows all this stuff about filmmaking, and he told me I couldn't even write a sentence, and I don't even know. And for years I was stopped from writing because this guy told me I can't even form a sentence. So tell me, what is stopping you? Who has said something to you and you think that they're right, and it is stopping you from doing? Who's been told that you're too dumb to go to school? Who's been told that you're not talented enough to fill in the blank? Which one of you guys is letting someone stop you and you haven't even considered for a moment that they could be wrong? What are you not doing in your life because somebody else told you that you couldn't? This is a new year. This is a new you. This is a time for you to cast aside what these other people are saying, and you go for your dreams and you go for your goals, and you don't listen to those who are trying to discourage you from doing it. Even if it's under the guise of, oh, I'm just trying to be your friend. I just want to help you. I don't want to see you fail. Well, guess what? Failure is good. Failure is awesome. Failure protects, well, failure doesn't protect necessarily. They're trying to protect you from feeling hurt. Sometimes it's good to fail because then you figure out what is working for you and what isn't working for you. And when you put something out there and you fail at it, you go, oh my gosh, I get it. Okay, this is what I should have done, right? Look at Edison. I think it was Edison, the guy who invented the light bulb. He failed over 900 times. If I'm correct, it was like 999 times he failed at making the light bulb. But he didn't fail. He found 999 ways not to make a light bulb. I would consider that research. That's research. That isn't you failing. That's you just finding a few ways it didn't work. And now I know I've talked about this in one of my YouTube videos before, but guys, just because you fail at something, it doesn't make you a failure. Okay, it just means you tried something that didn't work. You are not a failure. That thing you tried didn't work. So you keep trying. Mona is saying failure is a stepping stone. That's right. That's another book I'm working on about stepping stones. So, what is it that you guys are going to go ahead and do this year? Because you're now realizing, what if they were wrong? What if those people that told me I couldn't do something were wrong? What are you going to do now? What are you going to attempt to do? Elena says, I agree, you can succeed by learning from all your failures. Okay, now I got to go back and find Derek's question, because he was told this week that he couldn't go for his dreams because of being autistic. So he's saying here, I'm interested in filming, acting, and photography. So how can I network with actors without being creepy? So sometimes Derek comes across as creepy. People have told them, women have said, they shy away from him because, just the way he sometimes postures himself, just the way he thinks intently. He thinks very intently, and sometimes it comes across as staring at someone or being creepy when he's just like, I think Derek's just calculating in his mind, when do I jump in and say something? How can I be part of this conversation? How can I feel like I'm part of this? And it's a tough situation because, and Derek, I've told you this before, I usually tell people, you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to do whatever. Let people know what you're going through or what your issues are. But in your case, I think there needs to be disclosure of what you're going through. Disclosure, like I've mentioned to you, when you go to networking parties, let people know, hey, I'm Derek. I have autism, but I'm really wanting to break into filmmaking. I'm really wanting to break into acting. And could you give me any tips? Is there any organizations that I could work with? Do you know how I can break in? And I would let people know, because Derek, one of the reasons I started talking to you back 10 years ago and mentoring you and kind of coaching you through some stuff is because I found out you had autism. And my son had recently gotten diagnosed with it. Maybe that was like 8 years ago. But I felt like drawn to you in that way because I felt like, oh my gosh, when my son grows up, I would want people to help him. So let me try to guide him and try to help him. And so the whole reason I even reached out to you is because I knew you had autism. And I think not letting people know in your case is stopping you because you've been told multiple times that you come across in like a creepy way. So the moment somebody knows you have autism, they're like, oh, that's why he's different. See, people, even if you don't tell them, it's depending on your level of severity, of course, and where you are in the spectrum, but people can tell that there's something a little different about you. They don't know what it is. So in their mind, they're trying to calculate, well, is he creepy? Is he a stalker? Why is he looking so intently? Why is he, because especially women in Hollywood, they're vulnerable because they get hit on all the time. They get asked, there's the whole casting couch situation. There's producers and directors that will, and photographers that will say, oh, let me take pictures with you, so beautiful, and it turns into an abuse situation, or I don't even want to get into because there's young people on the call, but it doesn't turn out good. So people get creeped out by that. And that's nothing against you. That's just a lot of people out here who've been burned and they're trying to protect themselves. So I in this case, I would let people know. I would say, hey, and you know what else I would do, Derek? I would Google filmmaking clubs for people of special needs. I would find out, because I know, I didn't even know you were interested in acting, but now you said you're interested in acting. I know there's acting classes specifically for people with special needs. And that might be a place, not that you have to stay there, but that might be a place where you start out to get feeling confident, to learn some acting skills where you're confident and everybody knows, like everybody in there is dealing with something, till you're confident in your abilities and your acting skills, and then you're able to go out and feel like, yeah, I'm an actor, I got, and you do some stuff. So that's what I would say. The only way and some of you guys on here have told me that you are also on the spectrum. If you can give Derek any advice of what works for you, because I've never walked in his shoes. I only know because I've seen Derek at parties and I've seen how people react to him and all that stuff. So I would say you let them know. You let them know that's what you're going through. And normally I'm like, I don't like say, oh, tell everyone what your struggles are, but if it's already going to be something in people's mind, you have to dispel it. I went to this workshop once. I went to the self-help workshop once, and the woman teaching the workshop, everyone was she knew you have to answer people's questions that are in their mind, even if they don't answer them, even if they don't ask them. So we're looking at this woman, and she's huge. She's like, I don't know if she's 7 feet tall. She's dark skinned, and she has like an Australian accent. So people the whole time, they're not listening to what she's saying because they're trying to figure out her story. Like, hey, what's her deal? People just want to compartmentalize. They want everything to be answered. They want to figure it out. They want to know what your deal is, what your story is. And sometimes they can't even, if you have a message you want to share, we can't even get in the message because we're trying to figure out who's talking to us and what her deal is and why she looks like that but sounds like that and this and this and this. And this was so great. This is what she did. She gets on the mic and she's saying hello to everyone. She's saying her name, and then she says it. She says the thing that everybody else is thinking. She says, Am I not the hugest woman you have ever seen? I mean, look at the size of my hands. And everyone started laughing because they were all thinking it, right? Isn't that what makes stand-up comedians so funny? Is that they say what everyone is thinking. And we let out that nervous laugh like, oh my gosh, I was totally thinking that, but it wasn't PC to say, so I kept it to myself, right? She says, aren't I the biggest woman you have ever seen? And I bet you're wondering, how come I look like this, but sound like this? And so she explained she is Egyptian, but she was born or raised in Australia. So then everyone goes, do, 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 do. Oh, okay. We got all the pieces put together. We figured it out. Now we're at ease. Now we're open. Now we can listen to the message they have to say. So if you're at a party and you don't know, because you are who you are, but you come across differently, you behave differently, something is different about you. People just automatically are scared of different. People are scared of different. So sometimes you have to disarm them like this woman did. Aren't I the biggest woman you have ever seen? And she was. She was the biggest woman I had ever seen. So it was so great how she did that. It wasn't coming from a place of apology. It wasn't like feeling bad about herself. It was like, hey, this is just the body God put me in. Let's make it work for us, Okay, so I see some people starting to give Derek advice. That's great. So I'll move on to some other questions, and you guys can reach out to Derek and give them your experience. Okay, Molly's asking, who are my 3 favorite actors from Dhar Mann? Do you mean ones I've worked with, or do you mean ones that I just watch and haven't? It's Visor VF here. Mona's speaking to me in another language. Is that Spanish? Some of the words seem like they might be, like nuevo and espero que lo activo de nuevo pronto. Well, I know the word new and que and está de activo momento. I know like a third of those words, but I don't know what they are all put together. Jarrell says, have you ever had to compete with other actresses for the same role? Of course. And which other actors instead of you? All the time. You guys know I've auditioned for over 800 projects, and I've only got cast in maybe 150 of them. So most of the time it will go to somebody else. That's just kind of the law of averages. So when you're in a field where there is what some would say competition, I don't think it's competition, because I think whatever God has for me is for me and no one else can get it. So it's just a law of averages. You can't go, oh, I was rejected again. Oh, thank you, Angela. Thank you for the gift. So you have to stop looking at it like, oh, I was rejected. I'm not good enough. My skills aren't good enough. And you have to just look at it like a law of averages. If you are a person who is like a phone telemarketer, they know they're going to get hung up on like 100 times an hour, but maybe once out of every 100 calls, someone will say, oh yeah, I am looking for some new solar panels. Tell me about that. Happy New Year, Colin. So look at rejection as really a numbers game. If I know for every 9 auditions I go on, I'm going to book one, I had to stop thinking of the other 8 that I didn't get as I'm a failure, I'm terrible, I'm not good. I had to go, oh, every no leads me closer to a yes. So let me get more no's so I can get that yes. If you start thinking of it as a numbers game and not like personal defeat and rejection, you're just going to be a lot happier in your life. So Lily says, I've dealt with people who used to not acknowledge me or ignore me or gave me short replies, then resumed talking to their friends and not acknowledging me. It affected me quite a bit. Do you think this has to do with you being on the spectrum or some other reason? Corn, it's for good skin, ma'am. Do I need to eat more corn? Will that help improve my skin? For a while, for the last few months, I was getting into eating corn grits, or I guess what they call ugali in some African places. Is that kind of corn going to help me, or do you mean the fresh corn? What's going to make my skin cuter? I don't have any foundation on right now. Okay. The Dhar Mann actors happy with their pay, or will they say, Dhar? Oh, so he's quoting from the teachers. Teachers say, we need fair pay. You know how you can tell if someone's happy with their pay or not? Is whether they keep working. If they're not happy, they will just say no. So I think everyone you see is happy or they wouldn't be there. That's just how I look at it, because you can always say no. I got other things to do. I got bigger projects. I got projects I can do for more pay. So I say the ones you keep seeing continually are happy. Okay. I mean, you're getting paid to do what you love. I think there's so many opportunities in Hollywood to act for free. I did it way too long. For like the first 7 years, I was acting for free because I just loved acting, and I thought, man, this is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I just kept thinking, when I get more experience, or when I get more credits, or when people are going to finally notice that I have the skills and they're going to start paying me. And Majestic Photography is putting some other language. Everyone's sharing their special languages today. That's awesome. Okay. What did you think of the video where the guy uses the plus size girl for cash? What are the red flags you saw? Red flags. Not wanting to show affection in public was a red flag. Let's see. Oh, finding out that other girls were at the band rehearsal and she wasn't allowed to go to the band rehearsal. Always asking for money. That's a big one. Yeah. There were probably more. Martin says, I was just curious because I saw an ex-Dhar Mann actor whining about pay. Sour grapes, maybe. Yeah. It's easy for you when you don't work there anymore to nitpick all the problems that are wrong with something, and maybe you're right. Maybe it is like sour grapes. Would you ever do a reaction video to a Dhar Mann video? I don't know. It's not something that I think about doing. I know a lot of people do, and they do it just to get hits, and they get people to... You know what? I try to not be fake. Like, I really try to not be fake. So, I'm not saying people that do reaction videos are fake, but I know a lot of people do them because they know they'll get views, because then the word Dhar Mann is in their thumbnail, it's in their search bar, it's in their... and they're guaranteed views, and then they don't have to come up with their own original content. They can just watch and make comments. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying it's not my vibe. It's not my vibe. I want to put out content that is helpful to people, that makes a difference in their lives. Is it going to make you, if I do a reaction video, is it going to make you believe in yourself? Is it going to make you go for your dreams? Is it going to make you get up each time you fail and fall down? Probably not. So I may not get a lot of views, and I may not have a lot of followers like people who do that kind of stuff, but I don't just think of the here and now. I think of the legacy that I'm leaving behind, right? I think of when I'm dead and gone, and if YouTube is still around 50 years from now, 60, 70 years from now, whenever I'm gone, is the content I put out generations from now, is it going to be helpful to them and their life? And that's the kind of stuff I try to put out. Now, yes, I know you guys are asking me for more Dhar Mann stuff, and I'm going to try to do a video like once a month relating to Dhar Mann stuff, because I know you guys, most of you, that's how you found me. And so I appreciate that, and I don't want to, not give you some of what you want, but I mostly want to give you what you need that you don't know you want. And guys, that's why you come on here wanting to ask me Dhar Mann stuff, but I always make sure I teach you something first, because I don't just want you to walk away entertained. I want you to walk away built up, feeling good about yourself, knowing who you are. I want to equip you with the tools that will help you succeed in life, and not just give you something that's like, oh, I was wondering what the behind the scenes dirt was on there. Yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah, I'll answer some of those questions if I know them, and we can talk about the fun stuff. It's like being part of a Harry Potter club or some movie that we all love and we can talk about. And I don't mind doing that with you, but I want my channel to go deeper than that. I hope you guys can appreciate that. Okay. Have you thought about being a professional motivational speaker? I've thought about it. I was scared to do it for a really long time. I was scared to do it for a really long time, but I know I read back in 2016, God started speaking to me about that. And I was just scared, and I was afraid that I wouldn't have anything to say. I wouldn't know, I don't know what I was scared of. I came from, coming from the acting background. I'm used to having scripts. I'm used to people telling me what to say. I'm used to having the words, and I would read the words and I would say the words, and I was afraid if I don't know, because I was in the past told that I can't form a sentence, because I was told, whatever, because my grades were below average, because I couldn't get into college, because I had all these excuses that stopped me from being a motivational speaker. So I was afraid I wouldn't have anything to say. But I see that that's kind of the direction God is leading me in, and so I'm being open to that now. In the past, hey Waylon, I turned down speaking opportunities. I had people that wanted me to speak, and I said no because I was afraid. But I'm not going to do that anymore, and I want to be an example and a role model for you, that you can start doing whatever it's in your heart to do, even if you don't know what you're doing, because guess what? You can learn along the way. You don't have to know everything about it now. When I started putting together my online course, I had no idea what I was doing. I took a 3-day workshop on how to make online courses. And then I just started doing it, and I messed up along the way, and I had to reconfigure things, and I had to redo them, and I had to reshoot things, and I had to change the order, and I had to break my course in half and make 2 courses. I had to learn along the way. I went through several editors. It was but it's okay. You don't have to. Here's the thing, guys. You don't have to know totally what you're doing to start doing what you love. So I would say just go for it. And thank you for the gift, Derek. Derek was asking me something about Trump. I try to look at politicians by their track record and by their policies, and not their personality. So there were things about Trump that maybe, a lot of people were like, oh, he's so egotistical, he's whatever, he's a womanizer, he's this or he's that. But he did have some policies that made sense, and he did do some things like certain tax things, and he did do some things that I think were helpful to the country and that made sense. And there's been other politicians, there's been other presidents who maybe were more dignified, more classy. Like Obama, he was dignified and classy and regal, and he wasn't like sending out crazy tweets. But there were, you know, and as fine of a personality or character he may have had, there were things that he had, like policies or things that he wanted to do or pass that I was like, I don't know, I don't think that's going to be helpful for our country, you know. So I try not to look at it like, I don't look at things like, so I'm independent, so I don't look at like I'm Democrat or I'm Republican. I try to look at each person and not judge them by their personality, but look at what their look at what they've done in the past, politician wise, and did they follow through, and did they do what they say, and how have they, you know, what are they saying now that's different from what they said then, and if this is their track record, is what they're saying now just really something that's going to get them the votes, but they may not follow if they're just saying that to get the votes, you know, like how many people, I don't know, that's just kind of, I try to not let someone's good personality or terrible personality get me not to like them, but I try to look at the more important things like how are they going to run the country? What policies are they? So hopefully that answered your question. Okay. Let's see. I think there's a lot of questions I missed. Molly asks, what is it like being in the Dhar Mann film and acting with Sophie and Colin? They are just brilliant. They are just pros. They are just a delight to work with. They know what they're doing. There's no like like some new actors, they're like nervous, or they get, and it's okay to be nervous if you're new, but they get like they overthink it and they're second guessing themselves and they keep messing up, and it was just total pro professional. It's Me When asks, how do you know if a person is real or fake? Time. Takes time. So time is the weapon that forces deception to reveal itself. You never really know who a person is till about 6 months in. About 6 months in, depending on how long you're hanging with them. It's about 6 months in, you can tell what someone is like. And here's the thing, guys. You don't know what someone is like by what they say. You don't know what someone is like by what they believe. You know what someone is like by what they do, right? Going right back to the plus size girl being used for her money. Her boyfriend was saying, love you, babe, this, that. His words did not match what he did, right? So guys, don't be deceived by what people are saying. Don't be deceived by those who are saying, yes, Jesse said talk is cheap, action is priceless. See what they do. Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna come over. Yeah, we're gonna hang out. They don't show. They don't show. Hey, where are you at? I thought we were gonna hang out. Oh yeah, man, something came up. Sorry. Yeah, of course, sometimes there's legitimate excuses, but yeah. Okay. Time will tell, Brittany says. Shannon says that makes sense. Do you still associate with any fired Dhar Mann actors? I don't know if anyone has been fired, but there's a couple Dhar Mann actors, former Dhar Mann actors I associate with. One I was putting together a film project with. Another, there was another one that was helping me initially, helping me direct my course, run the camera and make sure the lighting was all good when I filmed. But when this particular actor started to question some of Dhar Mann's motives, and it didn't seem like it was in a really healthy, helpful way. It kind of seemed like a lot of put downs and a lot of finger pointing and a lot of negativity. I tried to pull back because I don't want to associate with negativity and people putting down, like, man, it's always easy to point out what we think everyone else is doing wrong, and if we haven't walked a mile in their shoes, yeah, I do associate with some, but I really don't want to be like associate with people who are negative about my boss, essentially. So you can see kind of the predicament where I try to be supportive and like I understand this person's point of view, but like I don't feel the same way. So I don't want to align myself too closely with someone who is against the person I'm for. Does that make sense? Okay. Hey, is it Sakib? Sakib? Did I say that right? I'm finally able to write in English as I am from Spain. That's what, different person. Shanti is saying this. So my phone language is set to Spanish. I know English also. Look, congratulations, that's awesome. Colin would be a better question to ask her privately. I know you saw me trying to dance around the subject. I try to be open and honest and forthright with you guys, but I don't want to be on here putting anybody down. That's not my vibe. Okay, it is hard to know if people are real. That's why you can't judge a book by its cover. That's right. Okay. Will you ever participate in a mass choir? No, I won't. Singing's not my thing. What did you think of the plus size girlfriend in the recent video and the one who tried to warn her? It's a good scenario. I thought it was a good video. My assistant was over at the time, and she just saw this, like a little bit of it, and then she was hooked. And Eli and I were spending time together. Like Eli's like, "Mommy, let's hang out. Let's watch some Dhar Mann." And we got a big bowl of grapes, and I'm like, "We're gonna," it was the middle of the day when I'm usually working. I was like, "You know what? We're gonna take a Dhar Mann and grape break." So we're sitting there, and my assistant came down. She sat on the couch and she started watching. And Eli was like, "Go away! This is mommy time." Like he didn't want anybody else to be in the room. And I mean, she was on the clock getting paid. So I was like, "Shar, Eli doesn't want you to sit by us." But my point is, the video was so, she was in the corner, like I could see her from the reflection in the glass watching around the corner in the kitchen, watching the video. And I didn't say anything to Eli because I didn't want him to get mad. Like, "Go away." He was like, "Go to the office. Go do your work." And I came out to get something. I go, "Oh, I see you watching the video." She goes, "They hooked, Dhar Mann, they find a way to hook you in. I had to see the video." So, in that respect, you can tell it was a good video because my assistant got hooked and she had to watch the whole half-hour video in the middle of the day. So yeah, I think they do a good job. They've had enough practice to know what works. I mean, we could always go around saying, "Oh, well, they could have done this better." Yeah, well, guess what? They're putting out 4 videos a week, so cut them a little slack, right? Colin, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Maybe you're talking to someone else. Oh, yeah, Lily. That's I don't know what to say about that. Okay, Shanti's planning to go to India in the coming months when the situation improves. Have you seen a lot of Indian vlogs? And I liked the country very much. I've never been to India. Did you see Chaz makes his own scripted videos on the side? I have seen that. Yeah, he did ask me if I wanted to be in one. But it's kind of, you guys, it's kind of tough for me because I have two kids at home and they have no like responsibilities when it comes to children and stuff. So I have to choose when I leave the house very carefully because I'm paying, you know, a lot of money whenever I leave the house for babysitters. So if I'm acting for free, I'm not acting for free. I'm actually going into debt. I'm actually going deeper in the hole, paying someone. So then in that case, I'm paying someone so I can go act. So a lot of people have asked me to do some of their skits and stuff, and I was like, guys, I'm not at a place anymore where I can do that. I did that my first 7 years in Hollywood. And yeah, when you have, you know, motherhood is different. When you have to pay every time you leave the house, you have to say no to a lot of friend things. You have to say no to a lot of parties. You have to say no to a lot of opportunities because you're like, you could be spending hundreds of dollars a week on daycare, which I do. All right. Mayor can provide the babysitting. I don't know. Would we trust Mayor to would we trust Mayor to babysit? Brittany would babysit for free with Natalie. Aw. Yes, even at this, I was just thinking about how Brittany how you said something about you just want to live somewhere with palm trees. I'm in like a not great area because I'm like, I just wanted something cheap, the Motel 6. And it's so funny because I'm looking out my window in this not great area of Los Angeles, and I see the palm trees, and I was thinking, oh, Brittany just wants to be somewhere with palm trees. But beyond the palm trees, there's piles of junk and garbage, like a building that was torn down. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you just because it's like, yes, look at all the palm trees, but look over here, that pile of junk beyond the red car, beyond the blue umbrellas. There's like piles of junk, like a demolition of something torn down, and palm trees and junk. That's what, I mean, you're a cheap area. You like got the palm tree paradise, but then you've got piles of junk. What can we say about that? Nice view of the parking lot. Parking lot, palm trees, and piles of junk. And that, you know what? That is a great representation of life, right? You're gonna find beautiful palm trees of great people, but you're also gonna find piles of junk. You're gonna find piles of junk. It's 6 degrees there. I don't know what it is here. It may be 60. It looks kind of chilly out. It's been in the 50s, so it's been unusually cold. Oh, that red Land Rover stopped working. Did you see my video on Friday? Talking about how I had to get rid of that car because it didn't run anymore. It kept shutting down, turning off. I had to get a new car. All right. I have the Cumberland train station over the road from me. Oh, is it loud? -16 in Minnesota. Jesse Oakley, are you from Minnesota too? Brittany's in Iowa. You guys are neighbors. Okay, you saw my 2021 goal update. You know what? In hindsight, I should have, what would have been great for that video, I had to have a truck haul it away. I had to have a tow truck haul that car away. So I had to get a tow truck, haul the Range Rover back to my house, and then eventually I just donated it to a charity. So I should have filmed the tow truck towing it away to put that in the video so you could see how bad that car really was. Oh, you're in Las Vegas. It's only 26 in Las Vegas? What? Okay, I've got a lot of friends in Las Vegas. Toastmaster friends in Minnesota. Okay. Okay. Molly says, you deserve all the love and support you have. You're my idol, amazing, talented, positive, caring, and loving. Oh, you're so sweet, Molly. Do you miss Minnesota weather? No, not one bit. Waylon's got his 20th episode coming up tomorrow. Very cool. I don't know if you guys have seen Waylon's show. He's got like a motivational, inspirational show on YouTube. I need to post, I did an episode with him. If you guys haven't seen him, you can go check it out. I'm going to post it on my page too. Orly says, I just wanted to say that just because you have autism doesn't mean you can't succeed. Exactly. There's a, yes, good example. There's a lady called Temple Grandin who's autistic, and she has a doctorate degree in agriculture. That's true. If you guys haven't seen the movie they made about her, Claire Danes played her. It's such a great movie. That great idea, Orly. You guys should all watch the Temple Grandin movie. I mean, you can read about her and you can find articles and you can probably find YouTube videos and stuff. Great example, yes. And it doesn't mean you can't succeed. This particular thing we were talking about was just someone not coming across creepy at a networking party. But there's nothing that can stop you. Remember the lesson from earlier today. What if they're wrong? You know, Derek, you told me somebody told you that you can't do something because of it. But what if they're wrong? You know what? What if they're wrong? So, it's 104 degrees in Perth, Australia. The sun is the hottest on Christmas Day on record. Yeah, and somebody else was saying they're cold because it's 66 degrees. Let's see, that's Muhatasem. Sorry if I got your name wrong. I butchered it. Brian is saying, darn COVID. It's 27 during the daytime and 16 to 20 at night in Bangladesh. So that's, is that Celsius? Probably, because I think isn't America the only ones on Fahrenheit, the only ones that do pounds instead of kilograms. Okay. How is your new Lexus SUV? Best car I've ever had. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm over my time. I'm here at this hotel so I can get some writing done. I'll work on this course to help you guys with your worthiness issues. I'm so excited with how it's coming along. And those of you who are in my course right now know that we have a call again today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I will catch you guys again at 3 p.m. just for those who are in the course. So have a wonderful week, and we will remember to check back with my YouTube channel Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as I put out content for you then. And we will see you, some of you, this afternoon, and we'll see you 3 times a week and on Sundays. All right, have a great day.